Hey, what's good, everyone? I want to welcome y'all back to the Be Empowered Hour. I have another special guest tonight. Tonight we have Councilman Chris Nettles from Fort Worth, Texas, District 8. Man, I'm just happy to have. I want to say on live stream, you may be my first politician that I have an interview with. So, hey, man, that's big shit right there. I appreciate you for
Yeah.
coming on. Before we get started, I just want to remind everyone, please, remember to like, subscribe, and share on the YouTube channel. If you're watching on Facebook, go to the YouTube channel. Be sure to make sure you subscribe to the channel because, like I said, I'm creating great content over here at Black Empowerment Movement. We having great guests, and we having people that's doing real work in the community come on the platform. So please, if you see a video, you like, share it, subscribe. You're trying to keep the channel growing and the momentum going. Without further ado, Chris Nettles, man, thank you for coming on the platform tonight. I know you're a busy man, but I want to, give this time for you to just let the people know a little bit about yourself or whatever you want them to know, a brief introduction.
All right. Well, I appreciate it, man. It's actually good to come on and talk with you, brother. I think it's important that we build a coalition together so that we can work greater for our community and our brothers and sisters. And so, I was elected to City Council District Number 8, June the 5th. And when I tell you it has been busy trying to develop and learn the ins and outs of the City Council, how you can get things done. One of the first things that we had to do going in was budget. And I mean, we were on the back end of it. Things had already been had happened. Things had already been decided on. So we had to really jump in head first to see where we can make some changes budget wise. But there are a lot of projects that we have been able to do, and we can talk through those things as we talk tonight. But it's been good. It's been great. And I think that this seat is really for the people. And so I'm glad that I'm here sitting to represent the people.
Man, good stuff. And like I said, man, you came, you was out there with the people during the 2020. I think even before 2020, you was out there with the people and doing things. So, hey, man, it's always good to have someone downtown that's have the interest of the people. So that is always good. Um, to get into this. So let the people know. It's a lot of people that may not know about you. They just see you as they may just see you as another politician. Just tell the people a little bit about your background, man. Your upbringing, whatever you want to know about your background, your upbringing, where you come from, a little history about you.
Well, so for one, I just had a birthday. I'm 34 years old, and I'm really different than a politician. I tell people that, to your point, how you talked about in 2020, how we were out there marching and protesting. And I tell people today, and even the ones on city council know that if something goes down while I'm in office, you'll see me back on those streets, on the front line, representing our people. And I even said it on Channel 5, my beliefs have not changed because I'm a council person. I still believe in the Black Power movement. I still believe in Black and brown representation. I truly believe that our voice needs to be heard. And so I have 4 children, 3 boys and a girl, between the ages of 5 and 14. So during the pandemic, my life was pretty much crazy, trying to do school and work and all those kind of things. I worked for the county for 7 years, but in 2020, I left to do my job on entrepreneurship completely. And so I own and operate a child care facility in East Fort Worth. And then I also do an after school program where we feed and take care of 1,400 kids a day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so, I mean, especially with this pandemic, and then just with poverty, and then parents having to work 2 jobs and getting home, kids are not getting a nutritious meal every day. And so I have the ability to make sure that that need is met. And so we have about 16 locations that we do that at. And so outside of being a council person, I still operate that business, have about, I think we're up to about 22 to 25 employees that we can keep employed. We have about 5 salary full-time people, and then the other ones work part-time up to like 7.5 hours a day. So, I mean, it's been really great. I had the opportunity to give people jobs. I mean, in this climate, we need jobs, roofs over our heads. And so that's a little bit about me. I also pastor a church. I've been pastoring for 11 and a half years. It's also in East Fort Worth. And so I have the ministry background and all kind of things. I went to DBU college, studying Christian ministries. And so I have a wealth of knowledge, but my experience is what really helps me. I worked for Butler Housing for 5 years, and I
Oh,
see,
wow.
I worked there 5 years. And so my heart has always been, with us on the east side.
You know what, man? Just hearing your background, you were just saying a lot of things. Me personally, I didn't even know about you. It's funny how you may know of someone or know a little bit, but like what you just said in those few minutes, man, I like, oh wow, I didn't even have no idea about that. So that just, for people that feel like they may know you, may not really know you. That's amazing. That just got me thinking in my head like, damn, I need to be fucking with him on this type of shit right here,
Yeah.
because you got a whole other thing going on besides the stuff you're doing downtown. You got all this other great work you're doing that people may or may not know about, man. That's amazing, man. I'm definitely gonna start being more proactive with reaching out to you and working with you on those type of things, man. Cause that's amazing, man. That's really truly amazing. I'm curious to know, and I'm sure the people are curious too. What got you involved in politics? What was that spark to say, I'm running? Like from the first time, like when you won, this wasn't your first time running, but that very first time, what gave you that spark to want to get out there and run for any type of political seat?
And so I tell people, and I always have to remember. So when I was in high school, I was my junior class president. And so I ran for that. And then I also was the Fellowship of Christian Athlete president. And that was a position that you have to get people to support or want you to do it. And so it kind of always been in my background. But what really sparked me to run was when the incident happened with Jackie Craig. And I was completely, just baffled about how the mayor can go in the church and say, this is a bitch session. I mean, just disregard the people. And so I started asking. I said, well, who's over the police? Who's over the police chief? And it was like the mayor and the city council. And I was like, okay, well then, how can we get the mayor out? It was like, well, nobody ever ran against her. She had been in office for 6 years, I think, by then. She had ran 3 cycles, and nobody have never ran against her. And wasn't nobody going to run that time either. And so I was like, well, okay. I'm not just right. Okay. I'm not just going to be, sitting here talking about it. I'm going to put my name on the ballot and give the people an option, a choice. And that's really how I got into, politics. It was because what has happened to our community, and we didn't have representation. We had people sitting on that council then that I felt like did not represent the people when we needed them.
Yeah. And that made you want to run the whole Jackie Craig situation. I most definitely remember that. That was a crazy situation within itself. And then that, what you're saying, that sparked you to run for the mayor position, right? Yeah. So that was your first taste of campaigning. And during that situation, how was that? What did you learn from the first time running?
I learned that this politics game, this game, it's about money. It's about knowing people. And so I didn't have name ID. And so I had got, I think, 30%, and she had got 70%. And I had raised $10,000
Oh wow.
and got 10,000 votes. And so I was like, man, had I had, she had had $500,000 in her bank account. Had I had raised 100 grand or 60 or 50,000,
yep,
I feel like I would have had a better opportunity. And so, I mean, I learned that it's about money. And and I tell people who want to run today,
gotta fundraise.
And you gotta be willing to put your own money in, even in this last race. It was things that I had to sacrifice in order to compete in the race. And so I learned about the measure of who's who and who's supporting who. They'll tell you right now that mayor and city council is not a Republican Democrat ticket.
Yeah, they say that.
And wherever line you may be on, and I'm like this, who's the best for the position, but those red and blues run thick on that, in that council, because at the end of the day, people are there. They're not there for the end goal. Kay Granger, who's the congresswoman, she was the mayor of Fort Worth at one time. Wendy Davis, before she became senator, she was city council person. And so a lot of people come from the city council level and go up into politics. And so it's a politician game. And so they don't want to mess up the people who support the beliefs. And so that's how decisions are being made.
Interesting. And it's like a crash course for you, because you just learning this. So like when you first start running, you just learning this off the rip. You're not coming from having parents or family members just running in certain position in the city. You just really getting hit blindside with this sound, like with all the information and who's who working with who doing backdoor deals and supporting who. It's crazy. You a brave brother. Me personally, I don't feel like I can do politics. It's a lot. Your personal life ain't personal no more.
Right.
Yeah. So, that part right there, I already eliminate me. But yeah, man. Let me ask you this. We talked about the political side, but more personally, what's got you involved with being an activist? Like what got you involved in activism?
Well, again, I have kind of always been in the mode. Growing up, I had one of my favorite histories was Martin Luther King and Jr. and thinking about and seeing all the things that he did and fought for us. And so anytime I had an opportunity, I read the books and I studied his history about, him being a preacher and in a political arena as well. I mean, he never was a politician, but he talked about social justice. He talked about incarceration. He talked about, lynching, and, those are some things that you don't see. Preachers basically just gonna preach the word of God, but he was able to do both. And that's why I tell people, because they ask me, it's like, well, you're a pastor, how can you get into politics? And I'm like, y'all, you can't limit a person because of the course that they take. We ought to be able to do both at the same time. And just being around people and seeing the unfairness. I didn't grow up with a silver spoon in my mouth. I've worked for everything I got, and worked hard for it. And so that's just kind of what made me be who I am, being an activist. And when I see my grandson always tell me, wrong is wrong and right is right. And so when I see things that are done wrong, I'm gonna speak up for it. I remember when they fired this girl at the YMCA, and I did a protest, not really knowing how to do a protest, but I did a protest, and then hell, I got fired. But so I was just like, so it's just like if I feel like somebody is being mistreated, you can count me in all day long. I'm coming to fight. I'm coming to fight.
And what would you say? Because naturally you're gonna always have critics. What would you say to critics out there? And it may not be many, but the loudest people make it seem like it's more than it is. But to those critics that you may or may not have that say, hey, Chris Nettles, he just got into being an activist so he can get into office, and now he's in office. That they don't feel like you're gonna really do anything. What do you have to say about that?
What I say to them is that, again, I have not changed who I am, and people who would, just like we talked about at the very beginning, people who know where I come from and what I have done will understand this is who Chris have always been. And I want people to understand that although now I hold a position, that my fight haven't changed, but sometimes it's a different way you fight, because the city council is a manager-ran city. That means the city manager and his staff, they come up with, which direction the city is going, where we're going to put money, how the budget is going to be, who's going to get parks, who's not going to get parks, who's going to get funded, who's not going to get funded. And what has happened is that the city council have just checked the boxes, whatever the manager said. And so in order to make those changes, you got to make relationships. And so although I might not be in there cussing people out, but behind the scenes, I'm doing the same thing that I would be doing in the streets. It's just a different way. And so I want people to understand that there's more ways to fight and not just on the street. And I think some of my critics miss that. And they think that I don't forgot about the movement. I haven't forgot about the movement, but I'm trying to make this change behind doors, that I can do with talking to these people.
Exactly. Okay. And I definitely feel you on that. I definitely, you basically say, hey, my vision haven't changed. My goal haven't changed. It's just the way I got to move and maneuver to get the things that we all collectively want. I got to do it in a different manner. And sometimes people may not see that vision. They may not know it because you may not be as out there anymore, because you have a different responsibility to work a different way now to help the people out there in the grassroots movement. That's what I took from what you said overall.
Yeah. I mean, and that's definitely true. And so, and what they have to understand too is that these staff people understand that this is a 2-year term. So in 2 years, people can vote me out and they get a different person. And sometimes if they want to, they'll try to sit on you. We ain't gonna let them do nothing. We ain't, and so you got to really fight and maneuver. I mean, I have to fight about some parks. We have about 2 or 3 acres in Everman, and it's dedicated park. It ain't got one swing on it.
Oh, wow.
Don't have nothing. And then they wanted to take $5 million and put it in Sycamore Park, where the golf course used to be. They're going to tear that down and do for infrastructure. But nobody used that part of Sycamore Park, off of 287, where the old golf course is. And it's hard to get to it. And so I had to have almost 8 or 10 meetings with the parks people, with the ACM, the assistant manager, with the manager. And I'm like, listen, we're not finna put $5 million in a park that can't nobody use and not gonna use in the next 2 or 5 years. I said, I got a community over here with 150 homes coming up this year, another 300 homes coming up in 2 years, and they ain't got no swing. I said, give me that money and put it over here. Those are the kind of fights that I'm dealing with in the city council, and that's just on parks. I mean, the Citizens Review Board, they presented some watered down review board a few months ago, and I damn near,
I remember that.
Yeah, okay. This is some crap here. Don't give us some watered down board that we've been marching for. And so, and after I said my things publicly, we went back in the room, and I met with the city attorney, because they want to talk about all these illegal issues and I'm saying, y'all, this gonna have to be this way. And so, I mean, like I said, my fight, is the same. It just having I have to move different ways.
And you pretty much just answered one of the next questions I want to ask. And you may have a little more to add on to it, but I basically want to ask you, like, what are some of the issues you are running into with being a councilman now, with working with the other council members? Like, what issues and fights are you dealing with, or what struggles? Because you're new to the position, so what struggles are you starting to see that you're having that you didn't foresee, or something that you would have to overcome while being a council person now?
Getting people to understand the needs of our community and the East Side. I mean, and I don't want to get on no political speech, but I mean, we all know that the East Side have been farly left out. I mean, how can you build up all of 7th Street in 5 to 7 years and do nothing on the East Side? I mean, it's so much money down there that it's ridiculous. I mean, even downtown, all the development they did down there. And so trying to get other council people to understand, our needs in our district. One of the things we was trying to rename the highway. I don't know if you remember that. And I had 2 council members that voted against it. I mean, and know the situation and know how dreadful that situation and affected the whole city, and not even the city, but the nation. And, it's like they don't understand that, they don't get it. And so that's some of the things that I have to deal with now. We have some that, don't believe in affordable housing, and don't want, because in order to make affordable housing happen is sometimes you have to give them a tax break, basically allow them to build the apartment complex, and they're not on the tax roll, so they can bring those amounts as low as possible so that it's affordable to the community. Well, there are some people that don't believe that we need to give tax breaks or tax incentives for affordable housing.
But they give tax breaks to other corporations, though.
And still trying to give, and trying, I mean, we was in work session the other day, and Councilman Beck, we went back and forth. It was like, okay, you rather give a tax break to this wealthy to allow them to get even wealthier. We're going to give them this land. We're not going to charge them. We're not going to get no tax revenue from it, blase, but it's going to allow us to bring in revenue and sports into Fort Worth. But we don't want to do it for those that in poverty or those that's making, because you may not be in poverty, but you may not can afford $1,600 in rent and feed your family and pay for daycare. It's more than the ocean, and I tell people it's not because you don't have a job, it's just the prices have went up.
Exactly. And it's crazy around here. Dallas, Fort Worth, they all hiking prices up. Like you said, down there close to downtown, they built that whole area up so fast. Now you got all these nice luxury apartments down there on by Trinity River, and and so many things built up over there in a short amount of time. It didn't take much time. They got those apartments and those those condos up in no time. And it's we need to do something for our community as well, give our people some nice things, and they'll be able to uplift their spirits as well, So I'm definitely feeling you on that. Man, that's a great point. So what are some things you got highlighted for your district that you want to get accomplished?
So, and I'm glad you asked that question. So, one of the things when I was campaigning, people talked about the Evans and the Rosedale project, and some people know what it is, some people don't. It's to bring affordable housing there, a grocery store, and it's right off Evans and Rosedale. Right there in the historical South Side. Also, to bring entrepreneur opportunities. So basically, we'll have the storefronts on the bottom where you can bring, haircut or coffee or cookies lounge, and then some of those are going to be work stay. So you can work in the front, and then you can have like a little apartment in the back of the downstairs.
Oh,
wow. And then we're going to have a unit with a grocery store, and we're going to leave it open for 2 years until we can get a grocery store open in there. And then another thing I did, I told the developer, I said, well, listen, I want y'all to build a playground in the park. So when people come to Evans Plaza, the kids can play on the park. And they said, well, we don't want to build it because then we'll be responsible for maintaining it. It's going to cost too much. And I said, well, I tell you what I do. Let me get with the Parks and Recs department. Let me get a commitment from them. Y'all build the park and we'll take over the park and we'll take over all the fees or making sure that it's maintenance and kept by the city of Fort Worth. And that was an agreement. And so those are things that the agreements that I'm making. So we got that development act is actually going to come. They're going to break ground hopefully by the end of this year. That's going to bring about over 500 homes. That's affordable. It's going to bring a grocery store, and it's going to bring a restaurant, like a brewer and a coffee by day and a brewer by night. It was something that they was talking about.
So these are things in the works, or is already ink and dry? It's going to happen, or it's still in the works?
No, it's going to happen. Unless Hope Global don't have the money to do what they're supposed to do, but we have already signed all the paperwork. We voted on city council back in, I believe, August or September. It's one of the first things that I did when I got into office. So that's going to happen. The old YMCA off of Berry across from St. John, we're going to have a development come there, Palladium. Those are also going to be affordable units. One of the things people don't understand is we don't have things coming to our district is because we don't have enough rooftops. And so we got to help build these rooftops to allow to attract more businesses to come. And so, and you'll see me kind of do that throughout my candidacy is, building apartments and building homes. And so I have approved that development. They're going to break ground hopefully by the end of this year as well. The Citizens Review Board, we're going to bring that back up for discussion around March. And so y'all be looking out for that. And, I really want the community to come out and speak on that and give their take because I want them to understand that this is what we need and this is what we want. And they believe that it's going to be a split vote. And so it's probably going to be a 5-4 vote because some people that sit on city council think that we don't need it, that the police does not need any other entity to view incidents. And so, and you and I know that we need it. So that vote is going to get ready to come up in March and April. And so, and I've been working on the scenes behind that. That was one of the, I don't like to call it promises, but one of the things that I said that I was going to do. Yeah. And nobody have, ever really pushed this agenda. It was under the rug. And so when I got elected, I said, we're going to bring it out in the forefront. And so, and that other people can tell their council members they need to vote for this to pass. So I'm working on that. There are some developments that's coming in the South Quarter in Everman. I got 2 housing development that I talked about, and then we got a park that we're going to build there. And then I have some jobs that are going to come off of Campus Drive, paying $60,000 a year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And
now let's stay on the jobs part, because you made an interesting point, and a lot of people may not know that to bring the jobs, they have people they hire and consult with to say whether or not jobs can come based on, like you said, houses and how many people in the population, the education level of the people in that area. So how do you tackle that? Do you tackle development, getting more people in the area, or raising the educational level of the people in that area, or how do you attract those type of people to live in the area, therefore, so you can bring certain type of jobs? Like what? It's like a chicken or the egg thing. How do you see yourself tackling that problem?
Right, and I think it's all because one of the issues is that in East Side, all of our schools, or most of them, are D's and F's, and so you don't have people who want to come and move over there because of the education, and then you don't have businesses that want to come because of the education. So although I'm on city council, I need to work with my school board representative to figure out how we can get these grades up. And so that's one issue that we got to really fix. The second issue is development, bringing the homes, bringing the apartments, and putting them in areas where they fit. Some places apartments fit, some we need single family homes. And then with the way the market is right now, a single family 3-bedroom, $1,200, 1,200 square feet or 1,400 square feet, it's going for $200,000. I mean, I bought my first home 10 years ago and I got it for $95,000. It was 1,700 square foot. The market has changed. And so we want to bring the jobs. And so when jobs come in and say they want to come to our community, I say, well, listen, I need you to be able to give the jobs. A portion of your job need to come from my community. So they need to be living in this zip code. So this $6,000 job, which is Macy's distribution, that's going to come. They need to hire people that's in my zip code, because when they do that, our income go up. So they do a market analysis and they basically register everybody that lives over there, how much you make, and then they do an average income. And so that average income is what grocery stores look at, it's what restaurants look at, and it's what other jobs look at to come to your district. And so although every apartment complex, every apartment won't be completely 100% affordable, you're going to have mix. So that means you have people paying 30% of their income, and then others that's paying 80 and 90%, so that we can help build up that average.
And that's a good point, because you got to deal with so many different things at the same time, and you got to figure out what you're going to give more attention to get the desired effect that you want. And it's a challenging task, because at the end of the day, you still got to depend on the other council member to get some of this stuff accomplished as well. So, man, you gotta definitely, when your heart is in the right place, you got a hard job because you want to do the right thing, and you got to depend on so many different factors to get it accomplished. And then when it don't happen, then people look at you funny sideways. So you got a tough task there, man. You got a tough task. I don't envy you at all. Now this is another tough one right here. What is it like in your south side area? It's a crime area. What ideas? I know my personal views on how to deal with things, but as a council person, as an activist person, you wear many different hats. As a family man, as a person that deal with the people in the community, you see a lot of things. You worked in on projects before. How can we address the young people and the small petty crimes that's going on? Because I don't think it's as bad as what people make it out to be. First and foremost, you're gonna always have some type of crime in low income area. That's just a given. Low income people are gonna do desperate things. They're gonna do petty crimes and stuff like that. But nevertheless, hey, we won't crime low as it can be, of course.
Right.
But I think people blow it up more than what it is, to be truly honest. What's your ideals on dealing with issues like that?
I think there's so many ways that you can attack this, and one of the ways I will say is that we need to have a collective effort. And so as it comes to the Black empowerment movement, and when it comes to My Brother's Keeper, when it comes to other type of movements or people that have organizations out there, because although I'll be able to reach so many people because of who I am.
Yeah.
But people who are on the street can reach another group of people. And so I think us coming together and having, group sessions or meetings or, walking the streets or, when a summer, happens, going to the basketball court, we see a group of people, and just saying, and talking to them, because it starts at home. We have Black on Black crime. Those are issues in the homes. Those are issues at school. And if you and I are not educators, or we're not in a school district, or we're not able to touch them those 8 hours of the day. If we're not in their home, we're not able to touch them when they're home, and so we are already at a disadvantage. So we got to figure out how we get into these schools and just, let us come in and talk to these kids. Get us your rowdiest bunch, and let's show how, you and we working together, and the Black Panthers and the Muslims and all these different people that has different ways. I think that's how we can fix it. More police is not going to fix it. I hope we can get to a more a neighborhood policing situation where, they're riding down the neighborhood and they seeing people, and we're talking, they're talking to the kids or the young people, and it's not aggressive,
Yeah.
But we do have, but one of the issues is, if we talk about, we have a shortage in police officers. I mean, we're down a couple of hundred that we need to hire. And so, I mean, it's a city issue. It's a we had a murder that happened. It was a drive-by murder in District 8. They drove by and shot a child while they were sleeping.
Wow.
Had a murder in District 6. And this stuff that just happened a couple of days ago. And I don't really have the answer.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. and I definitely moving forward, because I'm human too. I get caught up in life, working, coming home, dealing with bills. I'm at the end of the day, I'm a regular old Joe too. A lot of time I get disconnected as well, because of life. But I definitely want to look down the road. We can brainstorm some things and definitely get out here in the trenches and figure out how we can definitely make some things happen to touch that youth. Like you say, it starts at home. It's only so much we can do, but it's still a lot of room that we can improve on. So I'm definitely gonna be reaching out to you on that. Because hearing about drive-bys and innocent kids getting shot, man, I hate that type of shit. To be honest, I hate it. Like, that's not cool at all. So we definitely gonna be working together on that. I'm definitely gonna start spending more time in the South Side personally, with me and other members from Black Empowerment. We definitely gonna spend more energy over there on the South Side. Over there, I'm just going through the South Side. I didn't realize it was so many apartments and housing communities over there. I was like, oh man, this is an untouched area. Nobody really, not at least I don't feel like on the grassroots level that's they're being involved. And I definitely want to spend more time in the South Side. So I'm definitely gonna be, focusing in that area more often, per se, to try to reach the youth out there, man. Because at the end of the day, it comes down to opportunities. It's like it's not one solution. It comes down to the school system giving them hope, giving them that confidence to know they can get jobs and get work. The thing is, they leaving the schools without having the confidence, and when you don't have you're not being taught properly, and then you're not getting it at home. Then you going to school, you acting up in school. So by the time you get to the end of the road where you just get your diploma, you don't have the confidence and the know-how and the skills to company to go get some jobs making 60,000, 70,000 a year or 50,000 a year, whatever it may be, and now you're not working, you're poor. Now you got to do petty crimes to survive. So it's like a whole chain reaction. So that's why I like working. Me personally, I like working with the youth, because you can get them young, but you gotta, and then it's all the problem of you got to touch the parents to work with the youth. So touch the parents, work with them. Then you can reach out to the kids, work with the kids, and hopefully you can stay in touch with that kid all the way through the school system and just point them in the right direction, even though you're not in the household 24/7. But man, I'm definitely gonna work with you because you're in city council now, so you can reach places I can't reach now. So you can definitely help a brother out with with some things, man. So we definitely gonna be locking up and doing some things together, man. But one more thing, but this is my last thing I want to go because I almost forgot about it. when you mentioned something about the shortage of police and all of this, about more community involvement and how we we deal with ourselves. What what's the deal with the CCPD fund? I think that's it.
Yeah.
That funding can be used to some of the people that's in the grassroots movement with nonprofits, to do some of the things we basically talking about, man. Um, I think some of that money it is for crime prevention, if I'm
Correct.
correct, and basically what people, people that's activists, whatever you want to call yourself, you involved in the community, you want to prevent crime at the end of the day. So I feel like, okay, city council people, y'all the management of this money, let's give it to some of the people that want to prevent crime in their Black communities. And we know the crime is in the low income community, but we have certain groups that's involved. Well, use them. Police ain't for prevention. They come when the crime already happened.
When the crime has happened.
Yeah. They don't do no preventing.
Yeah. And so, you're right on. And so in the CCPD funding, there is crime prevention, and there are, and I told them this, it has not been publicized enough for groups such as yours and others, but there is money there where you can apply for, and it's actually two of them. You can apply for a year program where they will fund your program. You have to develop a budget, and you have to submit a proposal and an application, and that's voted on. Then there's a 3-year where you can get the same amount of money over 3 years. Depends on what you're actually doing. And so just how we're talking about, you'll be able to be on the ground and go to these apartments on Riverside or on the east side, and you can reach a group of people that the police will never be able to reach. I can reach a group that they can't reach. And so I actually work with you to get you set up to apply, because you need to go. One of them, you can apply year round. And then the other one, they're going to open up the application, I believe, around April. And so I have told several people already, to apply, because when I got in and I realized, I was like, okay, well, we got this fund here. Nothing against people who's already on it. We can use them. We need to create more, because we have too many.
Just say, man, I said for you, the people that's been getting the money ain't doing shit. I said, you ain't gotta say it. I said. So go ahead, man. Sorry.
So it's enough money there to help make these changes, and we really need to see people out on the ground and doing what you and I are talking about. And so I'm gonna get with you on that. And I think what I'm gonna do, and this have really refreshed my mind. I do have a lot going on, but I'm gonna put a post out on Facebook, informing people of how they can apply for this money, because it's just not being told. And we have too many groups that do stuff out of their own pocket, which is good. But how much?
You don't do so much,
right? How much more could you do if you had, the money from the CCPD funding? They getting a half cent, and so out of every tax they get a half cent, and so that fund is ridiculous that CCPD is getting. And so we got to make sure that our people and our neighborhoods is getting their fair share of that money, and that the support is going back to help, cut down on violence, but also maybe can go towards education, after school programs, pee-wee football. Because that's one of the things that kept me out of trouble, playing sports. I played sports when I was 4 years old, all the way up to high school. And, I tell all the time, my coach, the other kids, me want to be involved in something kept me out of trouble. And so I think we don't have those strong sports or people are investing in sports like we used to. I mean, there are some,
Yeah,
Hallmark stuff out there, Southside, but we're just not able to reach all that we can reach, the masses.
Oh wow! So man, I'm glad because I did, it wasn't in my notes, but I'm glad I brought that back up, man, because I forgot about that funding, and now with you in the office, we can possibly get some things done, man. Because at the end of the day, the people on city council, not you, but you know who we talking about. They claim they want to solve crime, blase, blase. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, put your vote where your mouth is. Then we got people out here that can solve this. Make it happen. Well, put your vote where your mouth is. You say you want this. Well, vote it then. Vote it to some of these other people in the community that's doing work out of their own pocket. Then if you say this what you want, well, vote it then. Because at the end of the day, y'all manage the money collectively. You only one vote. You can only do so much. But hey, if they want something done, hey, put it with your vote.
Right. And when I got in office, so when people review these applications, there's like a committee of people who review these applications, and each council person gets to select somebody to that committee, that board to review.
Oh,
we didn't even have nobody for District 8. We didn't have nobody sitting on that board, and when I got in, and this is not against anybody, I mean, but it just is what it is. When I got in, there were several boards that had no representation for District 8. And to your point that you just made, if we're not sitting at the table, then we can't do nothing. So when the Black Empowerment Movement apply, and y'all got this good proposal, you can do good work. Well, I ain't got nobody in my district that's sitting at the table to say, hey, we need to push this one through.
Wow.
We got somebody now, so don't worry. We got somebody.
Wow.
And that's one thing I did. I selected a lot of people, and so I will tell people, follow our page, because when we have vacancies come up, we're gonna reach out to people. I still need a library board representative, so that I can fill that position. But I mean, we gotta put our people on these boards, and our people gotta be willing to
step up.
Step up. I mean, it's a volunteer thing, but
yeah,
at the end of the day, it's going to help our community.
And especially if they already volunteering, doing stuff, why do something with a title, But man, hey, before we go, man, I'm gonna give you the final word to tell people anything, man. Hey, shoot off, man. Go ahead.
All right, man. I appreciate again you letting me come on. I didn't know what we was gonna talk about, but I think this conversation was good. And I just want to remind the people that, this seat is your seat. And so my doors and my office are always open. Those that got my number, you give me a call, hit me up on Facebook, and let's continue to make these changes. Let's support each other. And so I look forward to working with you and other groups. And so, again, I'm here for the people. And that's all I got.
You have any like social media, website, or anything people can go to?
Yeah, so you can follow me on Facebook at Councilman Chris Nettles. You can also follow me on Instagram. I believe is Vote Nettles. And then website is still chrisnettlescampaign.com. Then you can email me at chris.nettles@fortworthtexas.gov, or you can email the district 8 at fortworthtexas.gov.
And Chris, also when we get off, send me all of that information, and guys, I will put it in the description box, so when you watch it and going back to watch it later, you'll be able to click on those links in the description. So once we get off, Chris will get that information, and then you can just go into the description at the bottom and just click on it. Go to his page, find out more information. Good brother. If you watched all the way through or skim through, you can see, hey, his heart is in the right place. But other than that, guys, I just want to say, if you watching live or you watching it down the road tomorrow, a week, 3 weeks later, whatever it may be. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share the video. Definitely subscribe. We almost at 500 subscribers.
Oh, wow.
So hey, keep subscribing, keep liking, keep sharing. Leave a comment also if you agree or disagree anything with me or Chris said. Hey, leave a comment. I always welcome comments, whether I agree with them or not. But other than that, guys, hey, we out of here. And I want to say thank y'all for tuning in tonight, and we out. All power to the
Peace
people.
out.
Y'all take care.